socialist with.
God, he's such a weirdo creepo. And he gets to go on a show with just like people that are just like his total simp fans because they're all like these Zoomer socialist white people archetypes.
A nice car, that guy.
So turning these...
Oh, and he's got his like, his California voice because he's doing a podcast. Oh, yes, I know that.
Oh, I hate that guy. That guy's like a socialist with a nice car. That guy.
So turning these like dramatic moments and like beefs with other creators into teaching moments for your audience.
I try to, yeah. Like the last round of this was like so laughable to have this conversation and like with adults, but
are we bringing up Destiny? Is that what
yeah, I was about to say like
I wasn't gonna name names.
Yeah, no, there's a content creator who like loves debating, doesn't really care about any of the things that he debates about, but like he will assume like ridiculous stances, ridiculous positions. He's relatively skilled in rhetoric, not necessarily very knowledgeable on the issues, but rhetoric.
Not knowledgeable. Not anyway. So here's my 52 TikTok video thread for shit that I learned today about like, oh my god.
Very long way in debates, but beyond that, this dude is very edgy. Loves saying gamer words, the N-word specifically.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, when you think of Destiny, Destiny, he's the guy that loves saying the N-word. That's like definitely the totality of what I do. God, he's such a disgusting snake worm.
Recently, I feel like that happened recently.
It happened like 2 weeks ago, where he said the N-word on a podcast.
And 2024.
Said the N-word on a like, bro. Oh my, it's like the pearl clutching I would expect from like a 17-year-old. Holy
people getting really upset about the word cracker.
Yes, which is really funny because like that is definitely a very like reactionary aspect of the gaming space in general, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean the power dynamics there are questionable at best.
The power dynamics. The power dynamics. The Western colonialism, imperialism, power dynamics.
Aspect of the gaming space in general, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean the power dynamics there are questionable at best.
Yeah, and it's been going on. It's been going on for like the past like 5-6 days now, where everyone is like, "Yeah, you can't anti-white slur."
I wonder why. And does he ever bring up Frogan in this? Does he ever bring up where this actually started from? Probably not a single time. Wired also. And the people on this podcast that didn't do any fucking homework before letting him come on and spew this shit as well. I understand if you're like vapid dipshit fans, but like you should do at least like the bare minimum of work before you collect your, whatever bullshit ass paycheck you get for that. You probably don't even need. Mom and dad are rich anyway.
Slurs are unacceptable. What do you mean? Like you don't care about anti-white racism? And I use that as an opportunity to try to explain to people like the etymology of the word. The
etymology, yeah. We talk about anti-white racism. Let me tell you why it's okay to be racist against white people because of the etymology. This is like the weaponization of wokeness at its like peak. This is peak weaponizing these topics or these concepts.
And like the power dynamics and the history of chattel slavery. So it's not just like drama per se. It's not just me being like, that guy says the N-word. You're listening to a guy who says the N-word, and I don't hear you criticizing him saying the N-word. You left that shit off, but then you spend a ridiculous amount of time talking about how dangerous it is to make anti-white racism permissible. I mean, all three of us are white in this room. It's laughable, right? It's a laughable thing to be like, someone called me a cracker. Oh no.
I've been called so many worse things.
Exactly.
Destiny poison Hasan's well when you come to podcast too? No, I don't, and you're permabanned for even implying that. I have gone so above and beyond when I go on shows. You eat shit and die. I can't even believe I have gone so far in these shows. I'm like, like I don't agree with this, whatever. But they're really good at networking. Or Hasan does a lot of work. He streams a lot. Until now, I don't anymore. Now I don't, and I haven't as of a week ago, and I won't just because of dipshit morons like you. I will not ever give these people credit anymore. You fucking loser. I always give people credit, even when I hate them, even when I don't agree with them. And I've always given Hasan credit for it. Networking really well and doing a lot of work because he puts in the hours and he does. You, I won't do it anymore. No point in even doing it because dipshit you'd be like, oh, you poison the well too. Poison the well. No, if anything, I'll state disagreements we have. And I'll say I think he's crazy because he said X, Y, and Z, but it's not because of him fucking calling the cops on his ex-porn star girlfriend. It's not because of this being a failure of a fucking personal life. It's not because of him going to brothels and shit. Usually it's because of some unhinged political shit that he said. 99% of my attacks against these people when I'm on other shows are like of high substance, right? There's a reason why they don't talk to me and it's just like divorce selling and cuck jokes, okay? So, okay? Tide Pods, buy them.
Right, and it's like it's so obvious what's going on, but I do think that a lot of people get duped, like good-natured people that have some biases get duped into like reactionary framing on that issue. It's like bullying. It's wrong. It's bad, sure, but it's like when you make that comparison, when you
bullying. So saying a slur to nobody or at whatever, that's bullying. But calling somebody a racial slur if they're white, that's not bullying.
When you flatten it out and say like this is all bigotry and it's all unacceptable, and the people saying that are literally also saying the N-word simultaneously.
Simultaneously or in response to saying like, well, why is it okay to do this but not this? It's not like everybody was saying the N-word and then somebody said the C-word and be like, oh my God, no, that's not okay. It's more like, damn, that's crazy. White people or other people can call white people slurs. Well, what about this word? Oh, now you're saying the N-word? You don't think we should say the, like, I think people are probably just like, oh, probably just shouldn't say racial slurs, or at least not at people, right?
I'm like, well, you don't think that kind of bigotry is unacceptable at all? Kind of seems like
really. Who's defending that? God, I hate that. I hate the wired people more than Hasan on this. The fact that they're just sitting here like eating this up. God, they're so lazy and stupid.
You're making this a talking point because you want to expose hypocrisy where no such hypocrisy exists. So that's, I try to use that as a teachable moment for other people who listen.
Teachable moment.
Who are the other streamers that you do like that are focusing on politics coverage right now?
And doing it well.
There's a lot of great people. You got Sean the Black, Frogan.
Why does he never get any pushback on these podcasts? Because these people are all bought into the same Zoomer socialist bullshit aesthetic, right? Like these are the same, like the peak moment for Hasan's life was him, sitting as coming from a billionaire family with some poor Venezuelan kid on my Discord crying. And Hasan's trying to tell him why actually Venezuela is going great. And this poor kid saying like, my family lost our entire life savings and we eat rats on the street. And it sounds like you just don't understand. Like, it's just like this weird, it's unironically, it's like the white savior trope, but it goes in the other way for progressives.
Caroline Kwan, Central Committee, there's hypocrisy exists. So that's, I try to use that as a teachable moment for other people who listen.
Who are the other streamers that you do like that are focusing on politics coverage right now?
And doing it well.
There's a lot of great people. You got Sean the Black.
Sean the Black, who just made the death threat against me.
Frogan,
who started the whole cracker discourse by using racial slurs against white people. Also celebrated October 7th.
Caroline Kwan,
who said that Palestinians and Christians and Jews all live together happily in Palestine in the year zero. Who said I shouldn't exist.
Central Committee.
Mike from PA, the guy who said that he just named like 4 insane people in a row. These are all insane people. Mike, the guy who said that if I show up at an event, he's got enough lawyers to light up, show up. What's the term I'm looking for? On-site me, like.
There are a lot of like Twitch streamers specifically that also do political coverage. Carter's another one.
I don't know who that is. Probably insane.
Low. So there are definitely content creators that are doing this sort of thing. But beyond that, I would say, in the YouTube space, there's a lot of essayists that are great. They write a lot of YouTube essays. They do a lot of YouTube commentary. They're great. There's a lot of great people overall. None of them engage in debates.
And this was one day ago. So he knew about all of this. It's so wild that he's worse than any Nazi because he gets mainstream support doing it. Like at least the people, Fuentes and all these guys have to think so hard about how to hide their shit with irony, and these guys don't even have to think about it. They just openly say like, oh, I support this dude who calls for death threats, but it's okay because that guy's white or Cuban, depending on how I want to insult him.
Great. I hate people.
Only for you.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I
I
actually
do
spoke to
debates.
you in 2021 about the Sam Cedar Stephen Crowder debate and like how stupid it was.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like debates are just purely for entertainment. I think it can have an educational component to it for sure. But overall, it's not about like whose facts are solid. It's more so about who says them in a more solid way. And also it's the theatrics. It's a good way to maybe bring some people over to your side in the margins. But overall, it's not activism. It's not, doing something meaningful. It's not even like.
It's not activism or doing something meaningful, like convincing people that you're correct about a thing. By the way, that's all of politics. You retard, right? Like if you look at the founding of the country, if you look at like any big like people arguing in Congress over amendments that you're trying to pass, like the founding fathers like literally writing pamphlets and shit to try to debate people into like, hey, here's why you should support the federalization of our country. Here's why you should support like writing pamphlets and Federalist Papers, writing pamphlets. It's literally debating people on politics. Here's my political opinion. Here's why I think it's right. Please support it so we can have a fucking country. No, debate isn't real politics. What real politics actually is me driving home from Starbucks in my $300,000 car so that I can get in my $3 million house so that I can come into my $5,000 or $50,000 or $150,000 a month job to tell you about why socialism is the best thing ever. Like that's real politics.
Like genuinely learning about an issue. It's more so learning the talking points.
Which honestly makes Twitch so interesting.
Yeah, people don't learn about an issue. They just learn the talking points. Anyway, so this is why the Western colonialist power, Israel, is an apartheid genocidal regime that is bent on the eradication of the Palestinian people.
It's not, doing something meaningful. It's not even like genuinely learning about an issue. It's more so learning the talking points.
Which honestly makes Twitch so interesting as a platform for all of this because this was not what it was made to do.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is a good point to end our chat on. Thank you so much for talking about all of this with us. And let's take a quick moment and then come back for